Hello, good people, once again. I have new United States maps available for download now at sat103.com for April 2025. Let's take a quick look at that. There it is. And the model I am using to demonstrate this with is the Garmin Drive 40 from the UK. But of course this works with all Garmin devices, automotive devices that is. And I'm going to talk about something else. Now, I had mentioned recently that one of the benefits of using an old Nuvi 200 series, like a 200, 265, 255, and so on, is that this text up here would truncate when it gets too long. And an example of getting too long, especially when using OpenStreetMap, is if I go to the next turn here, this will get really long and it will scrunch the text up here. And what the 200 series does is that when this gets long, it will chop off, essentially truncate the end of the text. So instead of showing tiny text, it will just show what it can, and then to keep it at a reasonable size so you can still read it. Whereas newer models, like this one, do not do that. And I had thought, I said, well, man, it's really nice that the older 200 series will truncate like that. It doesn't appear any other model will do that. I was wrong. It actually does appear on newer models, but only in a very specific place. That being turns. There's the truncate. See the little dot, dot, dot? When it gets too long, it will truncate. Only on newer models with that turns feature, however. So if you have a, which basically means drive 40, drive 50 to present. What that means is that if you want that truncated text, and of course you do, you either have to go total vintage or all the way up to modern. So with the older ones, with the Nuvi 200, and I believe, I don't have one of these to test with, I believe the 755, 785, 855, 885, those older late 2000s Nuvis, I think those will do it. But then all the rest of them, all the way up to the Drive series, you have to wait until the Drive series till you get it back by going bottom right and then enabling turns. And then you get the truncated text back. I was happy to find this out because there are more than a few locations within OpenStreetMap where, as you can see, it just gets really, like this one's okay. Yeah, that one's really long. That one's really, really long. It usually happens with highway directions. Yeah, see, that one's nice and short. No, long. No, that one's not too bad. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. But every now and then one will come across. There's another one that will just be really long. Well, at least if we're using OpenStreetMap and we need the truncated stuff, we can get it with the turns list on the newer models. Okay, good. Very good. Yeah. So again, I was happy to find this out, and of course this works fine. Oh, and I should note that, oops, wrong spot. Where am I going? Map and vehicle. My maps. Okay. Yes, I should note that even for Garmin issued maps from here, yes, it will truncate on the right side. Okay, good. Okay, very good. So I get it no matter what. The only downside is, of course, this text is a lot smaller compared to the text up here. But at least I have it. And if you happen to have a 6-inch or a 7-inch or 8-inch newer model, then this side is plenty readable. On this one, the Drive 40, this is a 4.3-inch screen. This is quite small. That's quite small. On the, actually, no, wait, I have to back up a little bit. Even on the 5-inch, the Drive 52, that one has some reasonable size for the turns text on the right side. So if you were to use OpenStreet, you know, as a matter of fact, I should have grabbed that model instead of this one. I may have to do another, yes, I will. I may have to do another video to show that, because on the Drive 52, the turns text is significantly larger than, say, on a Drive 50 or a Drive Smart 50, LMTHD. Yeah, I need to show that. Speaking of the Drive 52, wow, are those things getting cheap. I remember when they were, because I had bought one new originally, I have seen Drive 52s as low as $20. Yeah, beat up ones. But the point is, you can get a Drive 52 now for, if you look hard, $20. But the average is well under 50 now. So if you wanted something newer, and that is the last matte screen 5-inch Garmin, by the way. So, wow, okay. And that was even for an MT model, Maps and Traffic. That was with the built-in traffic receiver. I have seen them for $20 and under. That's not the average, you have to look for that. But under $50, yeah, you can get that all day. All day. I was happy about that. And that's what I'll end on for this video. The Drive 52, I believe, would be the best thing to get for OpenStreetMap use for a turns list with some size to it for the cheapest possible price. It doesn't have touch response as good as, say, a capacitive screen model, like a 2589 Nuvi or anything like that, but still cheap. You know, you can get them cheap now. Maybe you ought to pick one up. Anyway, so United States Maps, April 2025. Sat103.com. Get it now, if you want to.